Hi. Hi, and welcome back. Thanks for coming back with us. We're a couple of wild and crazy kind of guys, as you'll find out as we go forward. But we're here to talk to you about how love bites and give you an idea on some of the subject matter that we're going to be covering on different shows. And so this won't all be covered on one show, but these will just be different topics that we're going to cover. So, of course, it's going to be online dating. That's going to be our focus. The pluses, the minuses, the dangers of. And you got to remember, we are current and former police officers. So we do have an idea what that world is like and who these people are. And we may spot them before you do. And we want to share with you some of the ways and techniques that you can discover them for yourself also, either in your profile or just in a meet and greet or maybe in a phone call or in a text. So that will be some of the things that we're going to be discussing will be the plus and minuses and the dangers and how to start a good online profile, from your handle or the name you choose to sell yourself out there, to the bio that you create, and what things to put in a bio, what things not to put in a bio, because there's certain things you probably don't want to put in a bio to give out too much information to people who aren't sincere and people who truly aren't there to
Dennis,
date you. Yeah.
Yeah. If I could, the whole thing of this show, and this is why it's going to be exciting, is we're in a new world. This is 50s plus. We're not 20 anymore. A lot of the world has gone to online dating. It's a way to separate the wheat from the chaff and find people that you're a potential matchup with. So it's got a lot of wonderful things. But what you're saying is this wonderful tool potentially for you has dangers, and we're gonna point those out, particularly with our background. What people should watch out for, and what's careful to go on that profile, what's not. It's particularly important for ladies and for guys that are new to the online dating scene, I would say. Absolutely.
I agree. Thanks for bringing that up, Steve. But, and then, of course, what or how much does physical attraction play a part in your search and in your desire? Is physical attraction a definite necessity? Do you have to have it? And I know where we stand, and that's, again, going to be part of our journey is we're going to be talking about how we feel about those things. And more importantly, too, is how do you feel about those things? How important is it to you to be attracted to the person that you're sitting across the table from? And I'm talking chemistry, I'm talking electromagnetic fields. Yeah.
Here's how it goes nowadays, right? They're swiping right to left or left to right.
Oh, of course.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Is that really how you're going to find your next fit? So we're going to drill into that a lot, right? Physical attraction is important. Yeah. It means something different to men than it does to women. Yeah. But now we put these tools onto this online world, and now the world is quick swipes. It's short attention span theater. So I think we're going to talk about that, right? We're going to drill into physical attraction and how that plays into this new world. Yep.
Because then if you can make it from the swipe to the possible match to the next step of texting each other, and then what do you say when you're all excited about this person because they did say that you're a match? So what do you say to them to make sure that they're interested enough to maybe go to a phone call with you? And then how long do you talk to each other before you actually set a date to meet? So there's a lot of hows and whys and whats. And so, but those are going to be all those things that we're going to cover in our show. And we're going to
whole different process, right?
It truly is. Yeah. Yeah. You got to kind of rethink your thinking. And, but it's interesting. It's certainly something you don't want to be caught with your pants down. That's for sure. I mean, either literally or figuratively, So, but
that's
we're
right.
going to try to do it for you and try to answer those questions and try to help. relationships do need some traction to get off the ground, and you got to get past the picture. You got to get past the point of, are they going to text you? Are you going to text them? At least get that first thing in motion. Okay, it's not a guarantee, but a good text or a nice text, and know what to text them. Yeah. Because you just don't say, "Hi, I think I like you," because most likely they're going to keep swiping, and you don't want to be a swipe wipe. You don't really want to be a swipe wipe in your world. Not good. It's not a good look. Right. No. So, and the chemistry, of course, and then what about being friends? That's a real big thing, and that's generally on everybody's plate too. Is I want you to be my friend, and if you could be my friend, then maybe we could become lovers, and maybe we can become people in love at some point. So just a friendship.
Dennis, I got to tell you, I am so excited about this one, because if I had a nickel for every time I saw on Facebook or Instagram or something, I'm going to call it pandering. A lot of times it's the man. They're sending out a picture. It's the anniversary, or a picture with their wife or their girlfriend. And, this is my best friend. This is my best friend. I think sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not, but we're going to really unpack this thing, because it's one of the trendy things. I married my best friend. Are we going to be friends first? Could we be friends after? That's another one. In an online dating world, by nature, it's a little more transitory. And then something happens and it's not a match, and you break up. Can you really be friends afterwards? Can you really be friends with someone of the opposite sex and be out there dating? I think we're going to take a lot of the research we've done. That show, I think people are really going to like. And it's one of my favorites, just because, again, from a cop perspective, my BS detector starts to go off a little bit. Oh, my friend. I really am looking forward to that show. I think people are going to love that.
Yeah. I agree with you. But something that, just a little tidbit on that note, is something you've got to keep in mind, is that if you do have, that was really special too. Yeah. We didn't even need any special effects on that. You did that well. But, something that you think you have to consider too is that sometimes when a girl breaks up with you, or when a guy breaks up with you, but mostly when a girl breaks up with you, I think this applies more so, is she may say something to the effect of, and have I heard it before? Yes, I have. Maybe we could be friends. I don't want to lose you as a friend, because it's so important to me to have you as a friend. But you have to ask yourself a question. Do I want to be her girlfriend with a penis? And I'm sorry, I don't mean to go there and say that, but do I really want to be, a girlfriend with a penis? No, because I know who she is. I may have been in a relationship with her, and I'm not going to be just comfortable being her friend and maybe going to the grocery store with her and help her carry her bags to the car. No, I'm sorry. And so we'll have to talk about that. Are there benefits to becoming a friend? Is there a benefit to staying a friend, just in case you recreate the intensity or the intimacy in a relationship again and want to try again and want to start over again? Are you pretty much walking away from that when you say, I don't want to be a girlfriend with a penis anymore? So, but that's something else that we'll talk about. And pardon me for getting a little crude on that one, but it's the truth. And I want to talk and speak truth here, because it's going to help all of us. So, but I think that best friend thing and being friends is a whole show in itself, if not a several part series of shows. So you're right, Steve. Yeah. I do think so.
Yeah, that's one of them. That people are really going to get the value of our ability to read people, and pardon my term, but the bullshit detector. They're going to get that from us, and we're really going to unpack some stuff. It's going to be helpful for women. It's going to be helpful for men, and that may end up being a multi-part one.
And
Dennis, if I could,
certainly.
if I could jump in for 1 second, part of, while we're talking about BS, when we're talking about BS here, a whole nother show that we're going to be talking about is it's about knowing yourself. Okay. So you're going to jump into this online dating pool. You're 50s plus. It's a whole different world than your 20s. Maybe you had kids. Your kids are now raised. Maybe you're an empty nester. For whatever reason, you're single. It's a whole new world. What we're going to talk about and what we've learned through the School of Hard Knocks really is so much about what you want out of a relationship, particularly in this online world, is knowing yourself first. So we're going to do a show called Know Thyself. We're going to talk about how it is impossible to get a good fit for what you want until you really, A, know yourself, because then B, you have to know, is that what you want? Do you want basically what you are? Do all the categories need to match up? Or are you looking for a synergy? Is it a yin and a yang? So I'm excited about that one. That one's called Know Thyself, and it's really about getting your stuff figured out before that profile is done and before you start dating. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of trial and error. You're going to have trial and error anyway. But I'm excited about that one. I wanted to take that one. Sorry, I stole
that. That is exciting. I agree. But, and coming to that table and meeting someone, you actually have to come to that table and but you pretty much have to become the things that you're looking for in the other person. So, I mean, if you're looking for those wonderful things, the virtues and the kindness and, and the compatibilities and, you have to be who you want in someone else before you can ask them to be that person for you. So come to the table with the good stuff and then, sort it out when you get there. But don't come empty handed and then expect, someone who's won the Miss America pageant to show up and who can play the flute or whatever, dance to the merengue or something.
Come riding in on a white horse.
They're going to cut a few tiles. No, I haven't. But anyway, so but that's something else.
And we're not gonna be Putin riding in bare chested on a white horse. It's not necessarily what the ladies are looking for.
No, if we end up with a Godiva or two, okay. Lady Godiva, we'll make it work. Don't worry, we will. So those are some of the things that we're going to be doing and talking about. And, what are the attractive qualities in a person? What are you looking for? What is the most attractive thing you personally find in a woman? Is it her beauty? And can you make that last more than 2 weeks? I have trouble with that. I mean, even if she's beautiful and she's sensual and just reeks with all that sensuality, getting past 2 weeks or 3 weeks just based on that, you're not going to build a foundation with that. It's not enough. It's certainly not going to build a love foundation. No, I don't think so. But can you do without it as a component of a full-blown relationship? No, I don't believe you can. But is it good enough alone? Is it enough alone? No, it's not. So, but I think one of the most attractive things that I find in a person in this plateau or this age bracket is kindness. When somebody treats that wait staff and the people at the dinner table that are serving food with kindness, it just, wow, it melts my heart. It just does. Was it something
it's sexy, isn't it?
Years ago? No, not necessarily. No.
Yeah.
But today,
kindness, and a good smile and that connection that happens.
Oh yeah.
I think that is a big deal. And I'm glad you brought it up, because one of the shows that we're going to talk about, though, is anybody can be really kind on those first couple of dates. I can pull the chair out for you. I can open the car door. I can say, baby, what are your dreams? I want to help be there to help make them happen. But, and this is your show idea, so I'm going to let you flesh it out, but you transition right into it. It's about extremely nice people. And there are extremely nice people out there. And I think what we're really zooming in on that show is how to know the difference from people who are legitimately nice and legitimately kind versus these are just the first couple of acts. These are the first couple of dates. and particularly the background of police. Talk a little bit for us about as police officers, former police officers, reading people. How does that play into it? Talk to me about how we're going to read extremely nice people and how we're going to educate the ladies and the men that are out there, whether the BS detector is going to go off. Is it real or not?
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit about that, Dennis.
Well, and body language too. I think body language is important because if they're telling and saying something, but their body is saying something else, then I think that we have to pretty much determine where's the truth lie, with something like that. So I think that sometimes words don't match the body language. And as we know on TV many times, when some body language expert will get up there and they'll be saying things like, well, you see the way they're holding hands, and you see the way they, their eyes are looking upward while they're speaking. So we'll talk about that too. And I think there's definitely. Yeah. I mean,
we're going to bring, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to bring specific training tips and techniques, specific things that we've been trained on about reading people and about body language, about micro expressions. And a lot of times the body tells the truth, even if the mouth isn't. And so it's going to be a great show. That one is a lot of fun, and will probably lead to future ones as well.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, so we do have a lot. We do have a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss. And I mean, we're just touching surface, and I know I've been into it a lot longer than you have. And I know you're just kind of getting in and getting your feet wet. But literally, in some cases. So
it's true.
I just,
well, Dennis, you're talking about dating. Okay. Another one that we've talked about drilling into is about this concept of dateable. People now throw the term around. Is someone dateable? Are you dateable? Just because you put a profile out there doesn't mean you're dateable. Just because you're trying to test the dating scene doesn't mean. So I think on that show, we're going to drill a lot into what are the qualities? What does it mean to be dateable? Are you physically available? Are you emotionally available? Are you setting yourself up for failure or success? Is the opposite sex, is the person you're talking to or interested in, are they dateable? Can you drill into a little bit about what your experience is and what we're going to hit on that show about being dateable?
Well, I guess I could probably say that in my case, I have certain standards, and my standards unfortunately eliminate a lot of my possibilities of the possibilities because of where my standards are. And so, I mean, I could translate it. Could it be I'm picky? Yes, I am picky. But then I start to find that sometimes I'm picking myself right out of the market, right out of the game. So I think it's not so much about relaxing standards to make more or have more available in the marketplace for you. But I think that, again, that we are going to be talking about more specifics about finding the one or the ones. And that's another show in itself, because there isn't just one person. There really isn't. There's so many ones out there, and we just need to apply the same kinds of criteria looking for the ones, and they'll be there. They'll reveal themselves. So we'll find them. We'll see them. So I'm thinking that in this search that you and I are going to be doing and looking for someone, and we're helping everyone else looking for someone, we're going to have an outline. Okay, look for this. If somebody's exhibiting this kind of behavior, pass on them. Let them go, because that's a dead end, and we'll explain why it's a dead end. So we'll encourage you to do certain things, as we'll encourage each other, but we'll also give evidence why we believe that to be so also. So another a couple of so's. I got to be careful with my so's. But I think that we need to also, and something else that you and I touched on was the killers of a relationship. So, and I know that's going to be a favorite of everyone. And I just want to mention those 4 killers real quickly. I don't know how long we're running on time here. I don't know what our time is. But I think that the 4 killers of a relationship, number 1 is indifference.
Yep.
So you are just completely indifferent to any of the feelings or anything that might be going on with your partner, or your spouse, or whatever name you're giving to your other half, a mate. Yeah. And then number 2 being neglect. And that's just, you just slowly dismiss them. They try to talk to you. They ask for help, and you just blow them off. I don't have time for you. Can't you see I'm watching a ball game, or, I'm watching a neighbor across the street cut the grass, whatever. Yeah. So that's number 2, neglect, violence, fear, and people controlling you, and basically hurting you, causing not only physical pain but mental pain, emotional pain. That's pain, man. And generally that's a product of violent behavior. And somewhere along the line, back in your dating days, they exhibited that violent behavior to you, but you chose to believe, oh, I could change him. That's just, he'll change. Watch. When he knows me, he meets me and loves me.
If I may,
he's going to. Yeah. So, and of course,
if I may, this is a big one.
Yeah.
Number 4, the fear and contempt.
Yeah.
Reading into that, being able to perceive it, particularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's being able to read that and being able to read controlling behaviors and that sort of thing. Let's face it, there's been a lot of trends in society, the Me Too movement. And again, it goes back to that playbook and certain terminology that the ladies are using and the men need to be aware of, and vice versa. Definitely relationship killers. So unpacking those, I think, is going to be very helpful for people.
Correct. I think our other favorite, and I think everyone's favorite, are red flags. What do you do when you think you see a red flag?
Yeah.
But you know what happened usually when you see a red flag is you saw the other flag. You saw an amber flag, but you chose to ignore it.
Yeah.
You didn't choose to have a conversation about it, which is what you should have done when you saw an amber flag. But you just said, that was a fluke or something, and that's not going to happen to me.
Right.
Because I'm not going to let that happen to me.
Right.
And then before you know it, you got red flags flying all over the place. Well, it's too late.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about green flags. When do you get the go-ahead? When does it look good? When does it look like, and that's a great thing they're doing. Whether you're not sure or not, we'll talk about that. But amber flags and red flags.
I want to drill into this. Yep. I want to give a quick thought on this, a quick tease into that show. And again, this is with the law enforcement background. Red flags, I got to tell you, in society, we have been taught in polite, particularly Western society, we have different parts of our culture or communications. We've been taught to be polite and to ignore certain things. We want to make sure that we don't come across as judgmental or prejudiced or a lot of different things. And because that, we've taken this wonderful instrument up here between the left ear and the right ear, and we've turned off millions of little cues and pieces of data that are warning us. They're programmed into our brain from evolving over thousands and millions of years on sensing fear and when we should react to something. But in society, we have this polite society, and society has taught us to turn off some of those cues, to tune them down. Here's the difference between a cop and a civilian. A cop sees all those little cues. They may know that they can't act on them or articulate or say something about all of them. A cop has learned to listen to those thousands of little pieces of data, the micro expressions, the body language, the disposition, the language chosen, the aggressiveness of stance, the type of words, everything. This show is going to bring out some of what we've taught, what we've learned on the job, what we've learned in classes, but more importantly, we've learned on the job on the street, how not to turn off the processing that happens right here. Guess what that's going to be extremely helpful for? It's going to be helpful for dating. It's going to be helpful for finding that match. Because at the end of the day, we're not interested and coming across as being the equal opportunity everything. At the end of the day, we're interested in finding a fit, someone to be with. We want to give little love bites. We don't want to get bitten by love over and over again. So we want to find ways to make that fit. So,
look out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think that's another area where our background is going to bring it forward. Yep.
Definitely. Thank you for adding that. If I could speak for Steve and myself, I'd like to say, don't let us slip away. Okay. Give us a chance. Spend a couple shows with us. Because I think what you're going to find is you're going to find a couple of guys who are regular, real guys. But have we seen the horror? Have we seen the beauty? Have we seen life in areas and facets that you couldn't even imagine? Oh, yes, we have. And we'd like to share those things that we'd seen with you guys, and to maybe apply that to the dating and relationship world, and make sure that we're all safe and we all find the one we're looking for, and they find us. That's the important thing too. It's time to start finding the people that you see in your face, in your dreams. So we're going to try and do that. You're going to help us because we're going to have phone calls that we're going to take.
Hey,
go ahead.
For sure. What we're going to bring in, we're going to bring in some raw stuff. One of the things that's great about the internet is we do not have to get sponsored and approved by a TV station or a radio station or anything else. We're going to give raw data. We're going to give real world experiences, and we really don't have to pander to anybody or satisfy anything. We're going to give truth.
That's right.
We're going to give perspective. We're going to bring it on too. We're going to have people coming on giving their perspectives, because we don't, like you said, we don't know everything. We've learned things through the school of hard knocks. What's going to make this unique is you're going to get kind of raw and real time and real experiences. And we're going to say some things. I'm going to say it just right now on the show. Some of it's going to be a little edgy. Some of it, there might be a couple things that might even, a couple things might make people scratch their heads a little bit. Some things, a couple people, they may not believe, but then if they give it a chance and think it through, because we don't have to satisfy anybody's agenda. We're going to give insight for free, and it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing that we will stipulate, and we will probably mention this at the end of our shows, or maybe even at the beginning of our shows, is that with the advice that we give you, okay, it's real important that you don't operate any heavy machinery while using our advice or driving a motor vehicle. Okay, be careful if you're using any of our advice driving a motor vehicle. And if you don't think that's a joke, well, then you need to spend some time with people who laugh a little bit more, and you'll understand where I'm going with that. So just, we don't know everything. It's going to be our advice, and but we do know that law enforcement side of things. So that you could take to the bank. And so if we could keep you safe, and we could help you find the one, and you could help us find our one, it's going to be a win-win across the board. And I want to say thanks for joining us. We'll be posting, and you'll see our posts. Please like and subscribe, and then you'll be notified when our shows are available. We're hoping for a couple of shows a week. And in the meantime, go get them. Start dating. Think about a bio, because we're going to be talking about them. Think about what kind of image you want to project out there, and we'll try and help you with that. So, once again, for Steve and I, and for the show How Love Bites, keep some Band-Aids on hand, just in case, those big ones, because sometimes you get bit, Anyway, by love I'm talking about. So, that's great. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.
We look forward to it. Thanks.